and welcome. Let me just make sure I'm going live. Let's just have to wait for the technology to catch up. We've got Mercury in retrograde right now, which means the technology can take its time, but that's okay. I do believe we are live now. Right, we are live. Perfect. Hello and welcome. And if you are new to me here, doing these on my Facebook profile and uploaded to YouTube as well afterwards. If you're watching here on this later on there, then hello to you as well. This is my first time doing this. I have been running these for a little while in my Zoom room for people who chose to sign up. And I had a bit of a moment of clarity and went, actually, that's not reaching enough people. I'm here to help more people. And it just stopped feeling aligned that it was behind a wall that meant you had to give me your email address and all of that. And to those who already have, thank you. I genuinely appreciate you. But I think going forward, there's going to be some changes and things in my business. So, and this is one of them. So showing up here live with you, right, live on my Facebook page, and it will be uploaded onto YouTube later as well. This just feels more right for me right now and where I'm at. So hello, and if you are new to me, welcome. I am Sonia Davis. I'm multidimensional healer of lifetimes, as it says below my name. There, yeah. What does that actually mean? So if you are new to me, I help incredible business owners, entrepreneurs, to create the legacy of their dreams rather than the legacy that they've been told they ought to have or feel they ought to have. And I do that by working across multiple dimensions, across lifetimes, and we heal deep trauma and we heal hidden energy blocks. And I primarily work with energy, and I use my spiritual gifts to unlock what's going on for you and those hidden blocks that you can't see anymore. So this new moon business session is really, it's something I've been running for a little while now, like I say, in my own Zoom room, but I wanted to bring it out into the world and make it more accessible to more people. And this is designed to talk specifically about the energies of the upcoming new moon. And there's a reason, and I'll talk through that in a minute. There's a reason we go for the new moon rather than the full moon or the start of the month or anything like that. For me, it's all about the new moon. So if you're here, please do say hi. I'm jumping between my laptop where I'm on Zoom and trying to check my phone where I've got my live stream going on. So I will try and watch out for comments on there, but I will focus on just speaking to you. And if I miss your comments, please don't worry, I will come back and respond to any questions, thoughts, insights, or anything you want to share with me afterwards. So we'll see how this goes. It's quite distracting. I've got my phone here with myself on live there. It's all a bit weird. Anyway, I'm going to focus on here. So the new moon. Why do we focus on the new moon, and why is that relevant for your business? So the new moon is all about a new beginning. It's a new start. It's a fresh start. The new moon is the point when the moon and the sun meet together in the sky, which means that when the new moon meets the sun, I'm just going to make sure that I am pinned and spotlighted. And welcome. I've been joined in my Zoom room. You are very, very welcome here. We are recording and we are live streaming on Facebook, but don't worry, people will only see me, so that's okay. So yeah, we've got the new moon coming up in Scorpio on Thursday, on the 20th. And the new moon is important because it's a new beginning. It's that fresh start, and it's the opportunity to set intentions for the month ahead, for the next 28 days until the next new moon. It's not exactly 28 days, but we'll leave that there. We'll say it's 28 days. Let's call it 28 days. So the new moon is a really powerful time to be setting new intentions and really focusing on what you want your next month to be like. And I like to do this in my business as well. And I find it really powerful to do this in my business, to chunk things down. Yes, you can have your 12-month goals or your 5-year plans or whatever it is. You can have your 90-day goals. But for me, focusing month to month makes a real difference. It helps be really focused and specific. So the new moon is a perfect time for that. When you set your intentions with the new moon, you're capturing the energies, you're speaking to the universe, and you are saying, this is what I want. You're making a declaration to the universe. Now, that's a powerful time to be doing that at each new moon. And I really do invite you to do that. This particular new moon, or every individual new moon, has its own characteristics. There are other energies going on around, and I will talk about what those are right now because they're a lot. Okay, so bear with me because there's an awful lot to get through in this one. But each new moon has its own characteristics. Now, this particular new moon is in Scorpio. So the new moon itself is on Thursday, on the 20th of November. And that's at 6:47 a.m. That's UK time. So adjust for your own time zone if you're not in the UK. And that's the point where the sun and the moon actually meet in the sky relative to the earth in alignment. But there's all sorts of other things going on as well, and I will talk through some of those as well. But this new moon in Scorpio, alongside all the other energies that are happening, alongside all the other planets that are currently retrograde, and alongside the massive, massive work that is going on right now from now until the December solstice, that takes us right and through until February. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. These energies are so powerful. They're so potent in a way that we have never experienced on Earth before. Or if we have, it predates our human history. So what's actually going on? What energies might you be feeling right now? And believe me, I am feeling these as much as anyone else. Just to put that out there, this is not just for one person watching this may go, yeah, I'm feeling this, but I thought I was the only one. I'm saying literally everyone is feeling this, whether they are aware of it or not. So what might you be feeling right now? The Scorpio new moon is all about going inward. It's a real inward seeking sign. Scorpio is a water sign, and water is its flow, its energy release, its energy clearing. It's also very deep and very dark inside. It's very spiritual. I would probably say that Scorpio, I believe, is one of the most spiritual signs of the zodiac. I know there are other opinions on that, but for me, Scorpio is one of the most spiritual signs. And this new moon that's happening on Thursday really, really is an invitation to connect with yourself more deeply and to connect with yourself more spiritually. If you've been dabbling around the edges of being more spiritual or embracing that side of it, this is the time to do that work. This really is such a powerful time, especially now. So let's talk a little bit about the wider context, and then we'll come back into this new moon. Okay, so there is a video on my YouTube channel, and I will drop the link in for that after this session. If you're in my Zoom room, I'll drop it in here. You can have a look at that another time. This is the energies right now are unprecedented because we are going through a massive, massive shift as a planet, as a whole planet. Everything is changing. So the old ways are crumbling, and you will see that being played out all around you on the world stage. in people you know, in relationships you have, in friendships, in habits you have within yourself, all of these things. Things are crumbling, things are coming into the light. There is truth being seen now. There are things happening on the public arena, for example. If you look at the world stage, what's going on right now. Now, I do not watch the news. I disconnect from that, and I'll talk about why of that in a minute as well. But on the world stage, there are things happening and people are horrified. People are going, oh no, how is this going on? What is happening here? The reality is these things have always been going on. What's happening now is you're seeing them more clearly. Truth is being exposed. Untruths are being shown up in bright lights and people are going, that's not okay. We're not having that. That's what's happening at the moment. There's a reckoning going on right now. Now, it may feel particularly challenging, chaotic, difficult. Yeah, absolutely. But when you step out of the narratives that are out there and come into yourself, you start to feel your truth as well. These layers that are being exposed at the moment are not just what's happening on the global stage, the politics, the climate stuff, and all of that. There's an awful lot of noise out there. There's a lot of fear-mongering out there as well. Your invitation is to come into you and your truth. And ultimately, that's what this new moon is all about. This new moon is inviting you to come into where you are in your truth. And what that means is stillness, is quiet, it's the darkness. It's embracing those moments of solitude and silence that, particularly as business owners, are really difficult to have. I mean, gosh, I know that. You know that. Having moments to just sit quietly and not even think about anything are few and far between, right? There's that guilt that comes in with that. It goes, oh, I can't do that. I've got all these things. Look at my to-do list. It's 17 pages long and oh, there's always more to do. We've all got that. As business owners, it's really hard. But actually, this new moon is inviting you to go, put this down. Give yourself the peace and the space and the quiet to come into a point of stillness with yourself. Disconnect from social media, switch off the technology, go for a walk in nature, or just sit really quietly and stare out of the window and watch the leaves blowing around. Do something in stillness, because that is where you get more insights. When you're constantly feeding your brain with more information, when you're constantly busy, when you're constantly doing things, getting stuff done. Oh, I've got another thing. Oh, I've got to do a post. I've got to update my website. I've got to see that client. I've got to do. There's always things to do. You taking 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes for yourself doesn't stop those needing doing. But actually, none of those need doing for the next 15, 20 minutes. You can take the time. Your invitation this new moon is to take the time to stop and to go, I'm just going to breathe. I'm just going to be. And I'm going to allow the silence and the stillness and the darkness to give me the insights and the wisdom and the whispers that the universe is trying to tell me. Much as things are going on a global stage right now, things coming to light, people seeing what they have always been, but they were hidden before. That's happening inside you as well. Believe me, I know this because it's happening to me just as much as it is to anyone else. How many times over the last couple of weeks, maybe, have you sat there and gone, oh, I've got this habit and I really need to sort it out and I'm not happy about it and I need to change it. That's you noticing the thing that you actually want to change. And you go, yeah, but I haven't really got time to focus on it now, so I'll put it away and I'll come back to it another time. Or maybe ill health. Ill health is a really big one. That stops you in your tracks. It stops you moving forward. How many people around you do you know who are currently getting on well? To different degrees of severity. But some of those are, that's the universe saying, just stop. Pause. Take a minute. Move away from the busyness and the noise and the doing and the always on and the thinking and the activity and the serving. And it's hard when you're a business owner because you care about what you do and you want to serve, you want to do things for people, you want to help people. But when you keep doing, when you keep giving, when you keep running around, you don't allow time for that stillness to happen, which is where the growth really happens. It's in the stillness, it's in the quiet spaces. How often do you find you've had a great day and then you go to bed and you fall asleep and then you wake up at 3 in the morning and it's pitch black and everyone else is asleep and your mind starts racing, and it races through all the things that you haven't had time to think about during the day because you've been so busy. And it goes into the places that, oh, I don't like looking at that. And you have the memory of that thing that happened 17 years ago. And you go, oh, no, I don't want to remember that. That was, can we just put that in the box? But it comes out because it wants to be looked at. And it happens in the darkness. It happens in the quiet. It happens in the stillness. And it happens for a reason. It happens because the universe and your inner self want you to release these things. And the busier you are during the day, the more you don't get time to deal with those things. That thing that happened 17 years ago that you really want to put in a box and forget about because you don't really want to think about it anymore. You just put it in a box and hide it away. By doing that, you're not dealing with it, which means you're still carrying the energy of it, which means you're not releasing it. And when it pops up at 3 in the morning, when you're awake and everyone else is asleep and it's pitch black and it's silent, it's coming out because it's ready to come out. It wants to come out. It wants your attention. And when you do that work and when you let go of that thing, whatever it is, it allows you to go, oh, I'm releasing that now. Let's not carry it anymore. Suddenly, oh, look, it doesn't worry me anymore. You feel lighter, and you'll find other things will unlock because of it. When you release the energy of something you've been carrying a long time, actually, doors open that you weren't even expecting. It's an amazing thing. And this plays out again and again and again. I see it so many times. So this moon, this new moon on Thursday in Scorpio, is inviting you to be intentional with that stillness and that quiet. And when you allow yourself to go into that stillness and that quiet, see what comes up. Notice it. Don't dismiss it. It's all information. It might be a feeling. It might be a thought. It might be something you've locked in a box for 17 years because you don't want to face it. It could be anything. But the reality is, when you face it, when you release it, it stops impacting you. And that is powerful. That's really powerful. So if you're finding yourself stopped in your tracks right now, whether that's through illness, sleeplessness, there's a lot of sleepless nights going on right now. This energy right now is inviting you to go. There's something for you to look at. But if you don't stop, you won't find it, which means you won't resolve it, which means you'll keep carrying it. And those things get heavy and they stop you moving forward, and they stop you unlocking your business in the way that you really want. That's what happens. So that's what this moon is all about. But it's not just the moon. I did mention there are other energies going on right now. We have a total of, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets currently retrograde. That's quite a lot. That is quite a lot. Retrograde planets, and that, yes, that includes Mercury. So you might be struggling with tech. You might be struggling with travel. You might be struggling with communication. Go with it. Go with the flow. Scorpio is all about flow with the water. Flow with it. Those energies of all those retrograde planets, we've got Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, and Chiron, all retrograde right now. Retrograde just means go inwards rather than the external world. When planets are moving forward, retrograde is backwards. So they appear to be going back. They don't actually spin differently. It's relative to the Earth, their position in relation to the Earth. But when they appear to be going backwards, it's your invitation to really go inwards and look inside yourself rather than the external world. So that, combined with this new moon in Scorpio, is a real invitation, particularly to look inside yourself and see what needs healing, see what needs releasing, see what needs letting go of, see what might be still holding you back. And it might be something really small, but it still needs letting go of. Things are changing right now. We are in a space on this planet right now where everything is changing. We are clearing out the old systems to make space for the new. But if we don't do that clearing out, there isn't space for the new to come in. So this is a really powerful week for making choices about what you want. And I would invite you, particularly over the next couple of 3 days, as we start to slip into the dark moon energies now. We're just on the edge of slipping into the dark moon energies now. And really think about, if you were making choices, if you had a blank sheet of paper to start 2026 with, what would you want to be on there? And I'd invite you to have a think about that. If you're starting next year, next calendar year, with a blank sheet of paper, what would you put on it now? With all the information you've got now, what do you want? This isn't about performing. This isn't about what you feel you ought to have, what you think you deserve. This is about, what do you really want? Come from the heart with this. With all of these energies right now, come from the heart. It's all about the heart right now, not the brain, not the logic. And I know for some people that's really hard, moving away from the logic. But when you start to drop into your heart space and you go, what do I really want? There's an exercise that I've used with clients before that has been incredible, given incredible answers, where if you were to win, say, I don't know, the Euro Millions or something like that, the most unbelievable amount of money that meant that you never needed to earn money again. You take money out of the equation. What would you do? What would you really do from the heart? You never need to earn money. You don't need to earn an income. What would you really do? What would you want to be doing? How would you spend your time? Who would you be? How would you live your life? What choices would you make that you don't make now? I'd invite you to have a think about that. It's a really powerful exercise. And then think about, when you've done that and you've got those things written down and some voice noted to yourself somewhere, you've done that thinking. And then think about, okay, maybe living in if, for example, oh, I want to live in a 12-bedroom mansion and have staff. If that's on your list, fine, great, own it. Absolutely, do that. If that's not possible for you right now in your reality, the thing to think about is, when you've got your list of, these are the things I would do with my time, this is who I would be, this is how I would live my life, What's the energy of those things? What do they give you? So I had a conversation with someone recently who actually said, what I really want to do is just sit and write books. I don't really want to do anything else. I want to sit and write books. So, okay, that's great. So why don't you do that now? Well, I've got to run a business. Yeah, but you can build in time within your business to think about writing books. Maybe you can't sit and be a full-time author, but how can you bring an element of that, what you really want, that's your heart's desire, that. How can you bring an element of that into what you do now? How can you start to shape things from the place of the things that you really, truly want? If you didn't have to earn money and all of those constraints that go with it, if you didn't have to keep other people happy, what would you do? And how can you bring the energy of that into what you do now? No, you may not be able to apply it 100% right now, but you can still bring some of that energy into you now. How can you build that in? That's what this new moon is asking you to think about. What choices do you need to make so that you can create that reality going forward? Start operating from the place of the energy of, I don't need to earn money. I'm doing this because I love it, because I want to do this. If you're running a business and you're desperately busy and you're making good enough money, but it's not setting you free, and actually, and underneath it all, you're doing it because you feel you ought to. And really what you want to go and do is sit by the sea and paint. How can you build in days when you go and sit by the sea and paint now? So you're not working on your business all day, every day. How can you create a business that is aligned with what your heart really wants? What choices do you need to make to become that person that sits by the sea painting? Or whatever it is for you. Other dreams are available, of course. Just to say, neither of those are on my list. Just to be really clear. That is not what I would be doing at all. I might be sitting reading your books and looking at your paintings, but I'm not going to be doing them myself. But yeah. This new moon and these energies are an invitation to really think about the choices that you are making and how you can show up with the energies that you want to be having, rather than the energies that you've brought along with you because that's where you've ended up, because of all the things that have happened, because of the conditioning from society, because of your previous choices that you've made in your life. It's time to start thinking about what you really want. Going alongside all of this, switching it up very slightly, we've also got incredible solar flares going on right now. We've had the most mind-blowing X-class solar flares in a way that is unprecedented. We've had geomagnetic storms. The Schumann resonance, which is the frequency the planet vibrates at, is spiking all over the place. The frequency and energy of the planet itself is shifting and upgrading. And as living beings on this planet, we are also shifting and upgrading. The light codes coming in with these solar flares are unprecedented. And those light codes are upgrading our DNA. They're feeding into our structure. The electromagnetic shifts that are going on our planet right now are massive. We're seeing that in the Earth herself. There's so much seismic activity going on right now. Volcanoes, earthquakes, all sorts of stuff. Big ones. Having really big impacts. Luckily, so far, touch wood, the really, really big ones have been out at sea. But there have been human tragedies as a result of some of these. They are happening. And this is the Earth the magnetic resonance and the electromagnetic field of the earth upgrading and shifting, just as we are as well. And we are beings of this earth, and we are upgrading and shifting as well. It's a really potent, powerful time. It's also supercharged by all the comets flying around right now. We've had 6 in our solar system, which is apparently, believe me, I am no cosmologist or anything. I'm no expert on this, but I believe that that is unprecedented to have 6 in our solar system at once. And on top of that, we've got the intergalactic object 3I Atlas as well, which is doing its pass at the moment. And that's a powerful one. That's a really powerful one. I'm going to talk about that just a little bit, just for a bit of the wider context, because that is bringing in energies that are new for our solar system. So it's recently gone past its perihelion with the sun, which, now look, I'm no astrophysicist, but I cannot believe that it is a coincidence that 3I Atlas had its perihelion with the sun, and then the biggest solar flares started hitting our planet almost straight away afterwards. I don't believe that that is a coincidence, because it's upgrading, it's feeding the light codes in our system. It's all upgrading our planet. It's been passing by Venus literally within the last few days. And it's coming, it's closest to Earth on the 19th of December. And there's other checkpoints along the way. I'm not going into all of it here. That intergalactic object has come from outside of our solar system, and that's the first time it's not the first time that's happened. I think it's literally the 3rd one ever. But the fact that it's happened at the same time as 6 other comets, and some unique astrology going on right now, it's not a coincidence. It's an upgrade in love and intelligence that is coming into our planet. I firmly believe that. And it's inviting you to think about how you respond from a place of love. That's the biggest message right now. It's no coincidence that that 3I Atlas comes closest to our Earth on the 19th of December. And then on the 20th of December, we have the following new moon. And then on the 21st is the winter solstice. That's 3 really, really supercharged days that are going to be happening. And I will be talking about that more at in our next session. But also I will, I've done a video on YouTube about the overall energies over this sort of 3-month period that you might want to have a watch of. And I will drop the link for those watching on Facebook, I'll drop the link for that underneath here. And if you're watching this back on YouTube later, I'll put the link in the notes there. I mentioned earlier that there's a lot going on in the outside world right now that you will be seeing. And there's a choice to be made. And ultimately, this is a choice point for all of us, particularly with this new moon. This Scorpio new moon is asking us to make a choice. Are we going to live in fear and worry and stress? Or are we going to live in love? It's basically fear or love are the choices at the moment in the way that we approach life, the way that we approach everything. That's why I don't watch the news, because the news is a source of information, but my belief is it's so heavily skewed towards creating and manipulating fear, because that's what the powers that were in control are wanting to create. The more people live in fear, the less they will move forward and break free of the chains of what's been going on, the power and control mechanisms that we've all been subject to. The more we stay divided, the less we come together, which means the less likely we are to be able to change things. The division is deliberate, it's calculated, and it comes from fear. It keeps people in fear. And as long as you stay in fear, your vibration stays lower, which means you're not able to lift above it. The alternative view, which is where I'm absolutely planted, is in a place of love. So when you choose to have love and compassion for everyone and everything on this planet, in this universe, it lifts you above the noise. It lifts you above the fear. Now, someone asked me in a conversation I was having last week, this was just with a friend, this wasn't a work thing, but someone asked me, we were talking about this, and she said, yeah, but you can't have love and compassion for certain people right now on this planet. You look at what they're doing. And I said, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because I'm going to be honest, what I see there, and I'm not naming names, you know the kind of people I'm talking about on the world stage right now. I see those people clinging to a system that has served them well and kept them away from the fear and trauma that they carry deep inside. They've buried that fear and trauma so deep, they've stamped on top of it so that it cannot come out. And I see that's what's playing out for those people. And yes, I do have compassion, even for those people. You know who I'm talking about. Yes, I have compassion for those people too. Because ultimately, we're all human beings having a human experience, trying to do the best we can with the information we have. And when you come from a place of love and compassion first, does that mean I'm excusing certain behaviors? Absolutely not. Certain behaviors are appalling. No, that's not okay. That doesn't stop me having love and compassion for them as human beings. When you come from a place of love, you move beyond the need to shout and live in fear and go, it's all going wrong. You step into a new way of being, a new vibration, a new frequency, and that ripples out. Pam Gregory, who's someone that I follow and massively admire and respect, talks about this as well, and talks about the frequency of love being really quiet. The frequency of fear is loud and shouty. They're the ones on a street corner with a megaphone trying to get your attention. When you come from a place of love, you just gradually disconnect from that and you allow your energy to ripple out and you connect with other people who are in that place as well. That's quiet. That's where the revolution happens. That's always been my way of revolution. Quietly, in the quiet spaces, with love, with compassion, for ourselves first, and then for our fellow humans and other beings on this planet, for the planet herself. That love and compassion feeds into everything, and it shows up in the way that you do things, in the way that you choose to run your business, in the way that you choose to live your life. And bringing it back to this new moon, it starts with you learning to accept yourself as you are, the truth of who you are underneath, the truth of who you are in your soul, in your heart, because you are beautiful, because you're unique, because you're radiant, because you are a loving being. That is the piece to work on under this new moon, is to accept that within yourself. Does that mean that there's no work to do? Absolutely not. This is the time to do the work, to get to the place where you do love yourself unconditionally. This is absolutely the time to do that work, so that you can beam out your light and your love and your radiance into the world, and therefore have more impact, because that's what you want. I would be fascinated to know how many people watching this, whenever you're watching it, whether you're here live in the room, and thank you for being here, or whether you're watching this later back on recording, when you look back at that list around what you would do if you didn't need to earn money, how many of you, I'd love to know, do tell me, how many of you would still do some of the, to an extent, some of the work that you're doing now? Because it matters. Because it's an impact. That's what you're here for. I know I would. I absolutely would. Maybe not in the same way and maybe not to the same extent, but I would still be doing some of this work because it matters. It's a purpose. It's what I'm here to do. If I didn't need to make money in my business, I would still be doing some of this. I'd probably be doing a lot more of it for free, let's be honest. I would make it more available to more people because it's a passion. It's what I do. But at the moment, you know, I have bills to pay and I need to do that. So I'm running a business. So it is a business model as well. And that's okay. And I do not apologize for that. And neither should you. But how many of the people watching this, whenever it is you watch this, would still do some of your work if you didn't need to earn money? Because you care, because you're here to have an impact. So I'm inviting you, particularly under this new moon, to really think about how can you love yourself more? Forgive yourself for decisions you've made in the past with the best information you had. Don't carry guilt or shame around anything you've done in the past. It's brought you to where you are now, and that's amazing. It's brought you here right now watching this video, watching me talking. That's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate you. I really genuinely do. I feel love because you're listening to me. It's amazing. That fills me. It's such a beautiful thing. I love it. That's part of what gives me my buzz. Of course I'd carry on doing this if I didn't need to earn any money. I love the buzz. But when you allow yourself to be free of the guilt and the shame and the fear of things that you've done in the past, choices you've made. Yeah, I mean, hey, I've got a very long list of dubious choices I've made in the past. But I forgive myself for them because at that time and that place, that's what I needed. And I did the best I could with the information I had at the time. And some of those choices, no, of course I wouldn't make them again. Absolutely not. But I don't carry guilt or shame for them because they brought me to where I am now. And each one of those gave me a lesson that I needed to learn. And this Scorpio New Moon is inviting you to think about what lessons you need to learn. It's trying to show you, and you do that in the darkness and in the stillness and in the quiet. So if nothing else, I would really invite you over the next few days to give yourself some time and space for stillness, for quiet. Allow your mind to rest. Give yourself permission to just be, not with an agenda. On Saturday, Friday night, I made a decision. I switched my phone off Friday night. To be fair, I switch it off every night, put it in the drawer where I do. And Saturday morning, I decided I wasn't going to switch it on. And I left it in the drawer until about mid-morning on Sunday. I have done this before, and every time I do it, I'm always amazed by how much more I get done, like around the house, practical stuff, and just because I'm not distracted, but also how quiet my mind got. I've got a neuro-squirrely brain. My ADHD part loves talking to me all the time. Keep going, 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 going. It quietens down when I don't have the input of this thing waffling away at me, inputting that blue light from the devices technology, constant input. I just switched off. 24 hours, wow, it was blissful. So good, and I really recommend it if you can. You don't have to do it for 24 hours. Do it for an hour. Put it away. Do it for longer than you do it normally. Try switching off, disconnecting. Switch off the news. Switch off the TV, switch off your phone, switch off your laptop. Give yourself permission to disconnect and just be rather than doing, because that is where the insights come in. I mean, I could rabbit on for hours about the insights I've had this weekend just because I switched off my phone for 24 hours. Huge. Things are changing for me as well as they are for everyone else. Like I say, this isn't just you, this is everyone, and that includes me. Insights, frequency shifts, all sorts of stuff going on right now that have come in for me. Things will be changing for the better. And don't panic, I'm not going anywhere. It's more of an evolution than a complete change, and I'm curious. I don't know where I'm going yet. I don't know where the direction will take me. And I'm okay with not knowing as well. I'm open for it being whatever it needs to be. We are not in the process yet of knowing the answers. Sit with the darkness. That's part of what the darkness bit is about. It's that I'm dismantling the old system, but I don't know what the new one looks like yet. I can set the intention for what I'd like it to be, but I'm doing it from my heart, not my head. I don't know how. I don't know how it's going to shape up. I don't know how it's going to play out. There's all sorts of things going to fall into place in some way, shape or form. There's a degree of surrender. The word surrender is really important for this one as well. Surrender to the flow of what's happening. And allow it to be, and don't try and force it. The human condition has taught us through millennia to go, let's control things, let's make it happen this way. This new moon and all the other energies going on right now are an invitation to let go of that control and go, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to see where it takes me. And be okay with that. Because that's where the universe steps in. The other element to mention with this Scorpio new moon is an increase in spiritual connection. It's a really, really spiritual sign. I think I mentioned that earlier on, but don't be surprised if you find your intuition louder. I invite you to trust it and follow it and listen to it. Don't be surprised if you have spiritual gifts online, if you suddenly find you have new ones coming online as well. So say, for example, you've always been clairvoyant. You see things in your mind's eye, you see events, energies, whatever it may be, whatever form it takes for you. If you suddenly discover you're clairaudient as well, that would not surprise me if that happens, where you start hearing things. Or you suddenly, if you're a medium who sees spirit, you may suddenly find you see a lot more. It would not surprise me. And please do come and let me know. Give it a week and see where you're at. But come and let me know whether anything opens up for you in that way. Your spiritual connection is likely to be amplified because we're all upgrading at this time in this process. Hugely. I invite you to go with it and allow it to happen, including the dismantling of the old and the creation of the new. Be intentional, but make it from your heart. But don't try and push forward. We're in winter, certainly in the Northern Hemisphere. It's winter time now. Give yourself permission to be like winter. The leaves are falling off the trees. They're all going down. They're hunkering down into the quiet, into the darkness. Spring bulbs are planted in the ground. They're not doing anything yet. They're just underground in the darkness, in the stillness, waiting for things to stop being cold, and then they will bloom in the spring when the soil warms up. But the intention is there because they're planted. They're not doing anything yet. They're just sitting there quietly, knowing that come spring they will grow and break out of the soil and flower. This time is about going inwards. It's about allowing the darkness and allowing the flow and allowing that connection with yourself. That's what it's all about right now. And if you do that, if you allow that to happen, don't be surprised when suddenly you get a big insight for your business that you go, oh, I would never have thought of that. Because you weren't allowing the space and the time for it to happen. So that's the invitation, this new moon. Give yourself the space, give yourself the permission to stop and allow that space to happen. That's a lot of information, wasn't it? We've gone through 50 minutes of this already. So much is going on right now. And we really are in the thick of it up until that December solstice on the 21st of December. That's really huge. Lots of hydration is a good thing. Lots of grounding. Get out in nature. Walks. Hug the tree. Bare feet on the earth, if you can. Full body hugs on the earth, if you can. Lying down flat on the earth is a really grounding one. Other grounding exercises, loads and loads of them. Work with crystals, grounding crystals. Eat nourishing, healthy foods. Stay out of those highly chemicalized processed foods if you can. Or at least reduce them, limit them. Get more natural stuff into your body. Allow yourself to be grounded in the here and now. And above all, know that you're not on your own. You are not on your own. And I want to invite you, if any of this is bringing up stuff for you and you sit there and it's 3 in the morning and you're going, oh, but I don't know how to deal with this thing. Reach out to me. That's where I come in. That's the work that I do. That's what I help with. And there's different things I've got available that can support with that. I've got my new one-to-one 3-month program, Becoming Limitless, which is I've only got very, very limited spaces in that because I want to be able to hold the energy of the people in that really thoroughly and carefully and respectfully. So I've only got a couple more spaces left in that. But the results of that are already very, very profound. But this is if you want to really go deep and release the things that are holding you back. And the idea is that it's a 3-month program, and by the end of it, you will. By the end of February, if you were to jump in now, you can jump in any time. But like I say, I only have very limited spaces in that. Within 3 months, you will be at a vibration and a frequency that will be lighting up the world. That's the point of it. But these are the times to be doing this work, particularly starting now between now and the solstice. This is the time to be clearing out the gunk, getting rid of it all, those energy blocks, those things that just don't work anymore. The old versions of you, the old habits, the old actions, the old thought processes. This is the time to be getting rid of them. Because when we get past that solstice, it's all new. We literally don't know what it's going to be like. I'm listening to the most incredible people that I follow, and they're all saying, we don't know what's coming. Because it's going to be so new and so different. We've never experienced this in humanity. This is the time to be clearing out, ready for that. Locking in your intentions. And if you want help with that, if you really want to do the work, if you are ready to do the deep work and face it, I'll hold you through that process very gently and skillfully and take you through. We'll work in your Akashic records. We'll clear out the old traumas in this lifetime and others. will keep your nervous system really calm and grounded, and will turn your business into what you really want it to be at the end of it. So if you're ready for that, drop me a message. We can have a chat. Let me know. I'm very happy to have a conversation with anyone, and I'd never ever force anyone in. We can have a chat. That doesn't mean you've signed on the dotted line. Don't worry. I'll never force you in if it's not right for you. If it's not right for me, that's fine. But I'm very happy to talk about it if you want to explore that further. So, are there any specific questions that have come up for you in this that you want to ask before we close? I feel like I've waffled a lot, but there is so much going on. So much going on. I hope that has been helpful. I hope that has been helpful. And as I said, if you want to chat, just drop me a message. Always happy to have a conversation, see where it goes. Never any forcing or obligation, just with love and compassion and joy. That's my mission. Spread the love, compassion, and joy and help you have more impact. That's the whole point of everything I'm doing. That's what I want for you. The world needs us all to be shining as brightly as possible. And I'm here to help you do that. So I will leave that there. Thank you so much for being here. I'd love to know, anyone watching this on YouTube or Facebook, how's that been? I haven't done it like this before, but it feels so aligned for me to just put it out there to the world freely without having to sign up and get on my email list and stuff. And you're already on my list. I love you for being here. I genuinely thank you. But I want to put this message and information out there more widely. That's part of my purpose, part of my mission. One of the changes I'm making in my business, making certain things more accessible. So let me know whether you're watching this now or later. And if you're watching on Facebook, I will come and check and see if there are any comments, because I can't actually do that at the moment while I'm here, because anyway, the tech is not always my friend, but we go with it as much as we can. We will be doing another one of these. The next one, the next new moon is going to be on the 20th of December, and I will be doing the next one of these in the week before that. I haven't got the exact date yet locked in yet, because I've got some other things changing in my diary, so I will let you know as soon as possible. But do stay in touch, drop me a message, and I'm sending you the most beautiful new moon blessings for Thursday. Be well, be joyful, be loving to yourself, and I will see you again soon. Take care.